We're here in the wonderful place of Durban, South Africa. We're here at the IAS meeting, and we're here with Shamin, who is the founder and you're the president also
of
Let's Stop AIDS in Toronto. And I'm going to let you describe what it is you're doing.
Sure. So about 12 years ago, when I was 15, I founded Let's Stop AIDS. I founded Let's Stop AIDS because a lot of people in my school were getting pregnant and getting STIs. I actually brought this up to my principal, and she said, "Are you trying to start a scam or something?" This wasn't well received by myself and the media. We immediately told everyone and anyone about this story, and from then, sort of, Let's Stop AIDS sort of got its starting. It actually went all the way to Bill Clinton and Bill Gates. Let's Stop AIDS really focuses on HIV prevention and knowledge exchange. Focus on to share information and knowledge, inspire young people to take action in their local communities, and to create a global network.
So you do projects, which of course get people.
Yeah, so we do.
And where is this? Is this in Toronto or it travels?
Yeah, so we do a lot of our programs based in Canada, but also abroad. Over the years, we've done programs in South Africa, Mexico, India, China, Austria, Australia, and specifically South Africa. This year actually marks 10 years of youth HIV programming. We've done programming extensively through Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, but most importantly was in KwaZulu-Natal. And in the Global Village, actually, we've showcased two of our exhibits. One is a 20-meter or 60 feet art exhibit that showcases youth engagement relating to art. And we also did a 6-meter squared booth that is mutually made with Dududu and ourselves. And we can definitely show you some pictures and videos to add to it, but yeah.
So what are your plans for the future? I mean, do you just keep on doing this and keep on expanding?
So,
I mean, it seems like it's already got organized.
So Let's Stop AIDS has about 400 volunteers, and I think that the only reason why we as an organization are able to do as much as we do is because of really passionate people. And I think for a place like South Africa, where there's already a marginalized community not being paid well, there's already a lot of stigma that's occurring, and then as well to have that much passionate people involved in the program just makes it that much stronger. For Let's Stop AIDS, and as someone who's been in the HIV field now for about 12 years, I can say that getting larger is not one of the major parts of priorities for me. It's more about sustainability, about making sure the programs have strong, meaningful results, not just paper grant results. And I think to develop that is when, we just had 20 young youth who some of them have never been to Dudu, tell me, today is one of the days I've had the most fun. I was able to dance on a stage, go and visit local booths, and just be myself. And sometimes those basic little things are what you need the leadership in the HIV field. HIV is the smallest issue of this entire thing. It's the stigma, it's the community engagement, it's the leadership and the support. And if you sort of have those core parts figured out and understood by young people, you're just going to expedite the pace that once we do find a cure, once we do have prevention methods easily available to rural communities, it'll be something that will be easily accepted and easily understood. And for us,
it's all for social interaction.
Yeah, and another part is, since young people as well are also not as social in person, we've also created another program called Live Life Loving. This is an online portal for young people to learn about HIV online.
It can be anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. And this is from your mobile phone to a desktop. You can ask a question relating to HIV. Our core focuses that we picked was people who were young people just diagnosed, because we find that a lot of young people go on the internet and get overwhelmed with content, and it's just something that we want to make sure it's easily understood.
This is kind of normalize things instead of having all this data and technical stuff.
Exactly. So simplifying, not dumbing down. The second part is sex and dating. The hardest part for young people is two parts. One, young people tend to be at their most sexually active peak at that age range. The second is, it's also, if you become HIV positive, you're likely to not want to disclose, or if you disclose, face high rejection rates. So we want to have a support network for relating to topics of sex and dating, as it's something that we found isn't properly covered online. And finally, we want to talk about treatment and prevention and knowing those options, but then as well building an HIV library, building those questions, building those comments that young people have. And we've done that today at AIDS 2016. We've built an in-person art exhibit of it where young people have been asking questions on the back of a card. When we stuck it up, it's just a glitter side that shows, which is reflective of the world. People want to ask questions, but they don't want people to know they've asked it. And that's another way of normalizing the HIV route to asking questions that you may not want to, you know, put out there.
So your programs seems, I mean, I've seen other programs like this.
Yeah.
But yours shines way above because it seems to be more evolved to the point where you're really getting people interacting. And to me, I mean, I know that I've seen others that have interacted, but this is good. So do you take the people who are then, I mean, you talk about AIDS you're doing these projects, and AIDS is a discussion point throughout. Is that true?
Yes, and we have some young people that would like to publicly disclose that they're HIV positive. We have other youth that, you know, they may be HIV positive but choose to disclose that information. And that's something that we think is important, is to always make sure that whoever we've chosen to be part of any interviews or programs or projects is that it's really their self-disclosure, and that it's not us suggesting or putting anyone out or putting them in an uncomfortable position. And another part about Live Life Loving is, compared to a lot of other programs like this, a big and important part for me is that it has to look beautiful. The website, the material, the content of course has to be meaningful. That's the most valuable thing. But the entire experience has to be beautiful. And yeah.
Do you find a lot of people, and I don't know how you analyze what's going on, but do you find a lot of younger people today are not as interested in, you said not disclosing, but maybe they're not interested in getting tested? Because once they're tested, they're kind of, in some ways, feeling obligated to be disclosing.
In Canada, as being a Canadian organization, right now this is one of the things that we have a lot of groups rallying against, is because of putting a lot of, you know, criminalizations of people living with HIV, you're actually discouraging people from getting tested. The minute you're tested and you're positive, you are now placed onto, you know,
that responsibility,
a list. You're now placed on that list of people living with HIV. In Canada, even if I disclose to someone that I'm HIV positive, if you don't have it in writing, who's there to verify that what you just had is true or not true? And word of mouth doesn't hold up in court. It just ends up into a very dangerous thing. So what I advocate for is that we need to decriminalize HIV disclosure. That's by far one of the things that we should be striving for in 2016, because all we're doing is making people that may have innocently become HIV positive turn instantly into criminals, because right now, you know, TB is probably a lot more scary than HIV with the treatment and technology that we have. We have PrEP, we have PEP, we have ARVs, we have all these things that are able to suppress the transmission rates of HIV. But nobody is terrified if I tell them, well, of course you're a little terrified if someone else tells you they have TB, but it's not a stigma. And I think this all starts from when HIV, you know, had its outbreak. It started off with a topic like sex. Topic of sex that is, you know, it's already taboo, it's already religious, it's already, you know, something that family households don't really talk about. So I think this all happened from the beginning, but that's a whole other discussion.
But when you're talking about, you know, criminalization, the irony of it is that people who are positive and know they're positive and are on treatment are probably the least likely to they're just not going to transmit the virus.
Oh yeah, and that's what we've done.
You know, and people don't know that. It's the opposite, they think.
Yeah.
They say they want to have sex with a person who's negative. Well, that person is maybe negative, but we don't know.
Yeah. So
and if they're only tested every year.
So there's actually a fair bit of studies, and some have been produced even from the past conference from AIDS 2014, showing that, you know, random hookups, chance of you having sex with someone versus, you know, someone who's been tested on regular treatment, the answers are pretty straightforward. You have someone who's getting blood work 3, 6, 12 months, possibly in one of those frames, regularly. They know their health. They're keeping it maintained. And of course, not everyone falls into this routine. There's obviously, and that goes for anything in life, there's going to be people living with HIV that are not taking their meds regularly. They're on other medications that interfere with it. There's also going to be that other group that they are taking their medications regularly, but then they're taking like St. John's worts because they really like taking it, and they don't. And then they find out that actually their medication hasn't been working this entire time. So
did you read the partner study? Because I mean, it's showing now that there, I don't know how many, tens of thousands of sexual experiences, not one has transmitted to their discordant partner. So it's pretty amazing. I think there's a lot of this information that you as a leader are going to have to get out to the real world.
And I think that's where Live Life Loving comes into this entire thing for Let's Stop AIDS, is we need a way to increase youth engagement without stigmatizing young people for going to, an HIV session. Or, we've heard discussions from Canadians saying, I don't want to put in my calendar that I'm going to an HIV 101 session that's going to be after work or after school. I don't know who may see my calendar. I need a reminder because I won't remember.
It should be in school.
Exactly.
It should be on the curriculum, and it's just like anything else that's important.
Yeah, and that's something that as well we've done a lot of advocacy for, but you'll always have retaliation, and it's finding that fine balance.
Well, the world is changing, and the youth today, much like yourself, are going to change it.
Yeah.
So do it.
Thank you. So thank you so much.
Sure.
All right.